A Florida man burned down his house because of vampires. Florida seniors are bringing goats to their prom. A Florida woman removed from the hospital decides to drive right through it. And an alligator bites off a Florida man's leg at an RV park. These are the weird stories for Friday on Weird AF News. They are all from the wonderful state of Florida, because on Friday we only do weird news from Florida on Weird AF News. It's Florida Friday. Let's have some fun. A Florida man burned down his house because of vampires. Daytona Beach. A Florida man was arrested this week after the police say he burned down his own house after screaming about the vampires. He decided to use fire for the vampires, which is a very effective method of killing a vampire. You can't just whip out your Florida man gun. You know, they all have the guns. That's not going to do it. Unless you have a silver bullet. I believe the silver bullet. No, that's for werewolves, right? Not for vampires. But it would seem to me like you're safe in your house from vampires. That's the one place that you're safe, because a vampire, from my understanding, can't enter your house unless you actually invite them in. So this silly man just burned down the safest place to be if you're battling vampires in your life. Let's learn a little bit about this backstory. We have Melvin Weaver, 64-year-old Florida man who sees vampires. He also is seeing some charges he just accrued, known as aggravated battery and arson. So he's seeing those as well as the vampires. The thing about the charges is they are actually real, whereas the vampires probably not. Daytona Beach police say that Weaver's wife sought to have him committed for mental health reasons on Sunday. But when the police arrived at 2 p.m., Florida man Weaver was acting rationally, and police determined that he could not be involuntarily committed under the state's Baker Act. Ooh, the Baker Act. Let's learn a little bit about the Baker Act. I looked this up. The Baker Act is a Florida law that enables families and loved ones to provide emergency mental health services and temporary detention for people who are impaired because of their mental illness and who are unable to determine their needs for the treatment. There's some history about the Baker Act. And it can assist loved ones and family members with the process of getting your loved one some mental health professional assistance. Sounds to me like a lot of people need to be dragged away because of the Baker Act in Florida. I mean, I say dragged away, that's a little insensitive, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to get across here. The Baker Act should be used all the time in Florida because, Florida man is really suffering here. Let's keep reading about the vampires, though. That's the exciting part about this story. I love vampires. Okay, now, by 7 p.m. on Sunday, Florida man Weaver grew very angry and began hitting his wife. That's terrible. That's when you really need the Baker Act. You can't be hitting your spouse. Just violence is never the answer. Florida man, though, loves the violence, loves arson, and has fantasies. Florida man started breaking windows with his cane. Police say he was shouting, quote, "The vampires are going to defend themselves. The vampires are going to defend themselves." That's when the Florida man decided to set fire to his house by throwing ceiling insulation onto the stove, lighting that on fire. His wife was obviously in the house because Florida man don't give a damn. The wife was in the house at the time of the fire, but she managed to escape unharmed. It's too bad the Baker Act couldn't have prevented the house from being burned down. Florida man Weaver also grabbed a kitchen knife and began knocking on the neighbors' doors, saying his house was on fire and that his wife was inside. I don't know why you need a knife for that. I mean, normally when you're going door to door for help, saving your wife, you don't bring a kitchen knife. Unless he thought the vampires might be in the neighbors' homes as well. That's absolutely possible. It says here, sadly, the home was completely destroyed by fire. But on the positive side, if there were vampires in the house, they're gone now. High school seniors in Florida are bringing goats to their prom. Are they actual goats or just other seniors that identify as goats? Let's keep learning. It says here, this is really happening, this live goat at the prom, and there's TikTok video evidence to prove it. High school seniors and class of 2023 prom attendees from around the country are jumping onto this trend. It began, though, in Florida. Like most horrible trends tend to originate. West Palm Beach, Florida is where it started, and it's not just having your prom pictures taken with a goat, but actually bringing that goat to the prom with you as well as your prom date. Why bring a goat to a prom? Well, it all goes back to Michael Jordan, apparently. Ooh, we're learning something about the history of proms. Michael Jordan is widely known as the GOAT, greatest of all time. This year's seniors are the class of 2023. Jordan wore the number 23, as you all know, hence a graduating class calling itself the GOAT. They think they're the greatest class ever. I would give some pushback on that. And by the way, there's no graduating class in Florida that's better than any graduating class in history. I would love to see their test scores. It's Florida. They can't get by. They're all going to be taking jobs at fast food restaurants, which means they're going to need some handgun training as well, because that's a dangerous profession, as we know. It says here, although their logic may seem a bit of a stretch to call themselves the GOAT, they are committed to this. We have Jamarcus Askew of West Palm Beach, Florida. He told the media, I brought a goat to my prom because I'm known in my city for being the greatest when it comes to fashion and photography. I wanted to show everyone that I really am the greatest of all time, so I bring this goat. I rented the goat. The goat's name is Naja. I rented the goat from a local farmer for $100. Yep. Yeah, this goat's amazing. It looks really cool. It's the goat of goats, and which is proper for me because I'm the goat too. I'm very good. It's fashion, and I look good with my goat in the pictures too. I made sure of that. Oh, guys, it's nice to know that we're in good hands. The future of our countries. They really got their shit together, don't they? These kids. Well, at least he's not identifying as a goat. I really thought that was going on. The other thing that frightened me was possibly there was relationships with these goats, and that was why they were prom dates. Because if you're in a serious relationship, you better bring your goat to the prom. You know what I mean? I have to say it's probably safer than taking a Florida man to your prom, though. You never know how that's going to go down. The post-prom with a Florida man could really go south, as you know, especially when there's chemicals involved, which there will be. I feel bad for the school janitors that have to clean up after all these goats. It doesn't say how many goats were at the proms, but you can imagine there's just piles of goat poop and pee all over the place. Yeah. Would you want to lose your virginity to a goat? That's a question I want to ask my listeners. Call the show. 646-450-2012. Yay! A Florida woman was removed from a hospital and then drove through it. A Florida woman was arrested last night after she drove her car through the ER entrance to the Florida Osceola Hospital, where she had just been trespassed, according to the police department. Trespassed, you mean released, or was she actually on the property after being removed from the property? Either way, driving your car through the building that you're angry at doesn't seem like a very fruitful solution to your issue. But let's keep reading. Maybe she was able to get better care after this. About 8:45 p.m., 31-year-old Natalia Wiltshire, she's the Florida lady, star of the story. She was discharged from the hospital after being prescribed some pills that she claims were not working for her. You could have just walked in and asked for maybe some different pills, called your doctor. I don't know. There's a lot of other ways to solve the issue, but then again, there's also driving your car through the building as a way to solve the problem. I mean, if people aren't listening, sometimes you have to make a loud noise so they're paying attention. Let's hope she didn't kill anybody. Let's keep reading. We have a witness who was next to the glass doors as she drove through. Woo, get out of the way. She reported that she saw Natalia leave the building and then moments later drive straight into it. I can't believe this. It's just like... You don't expect this, do you? I mean, it's Florida. Maybe you do. We have a quote from the hospital spokesperson who probably never envisioned having to answer to such an event. We are very thankful that no one was injured. Phew! We are grateful to our team for acting very swiftly to protect our patients and our colleagues. Now, it says here, immediately after she crashed into the ER, Natalia left her vehicle through the passenger side and attempted to walk away from the police officer's commands. Wow, these police were on the scene quickly. They must have already been there, because you can't count on Florida police to arrive this quickly. Maybe it took her a while to exit her vehicle, though. Perhaps she was trapped in there for a bit. I mean, I've never driven through a building, but I'd imagine it's probably difficult to immediately jump out of your car when you've crashed into a building. The police, it says, had to perform what's called an arm bar, which is a way to take down and detain a perpetrator. Arm bar is a wonderful phrase, better said with a Boston accent, so let me redo that. Take two. Beep. The police had to perform an arm bar to detain her. Yeah, it was an armbar. It was it was a powerful armbar. Those are very effective. If you want someone to be detained, try an armbar. I recommend it. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend an armbar. Put pressure on the right places. You know where the places are. The throat. Now, after they had her in an armbar, they had a conversation about her where she verbally summarized the weak prescription pills that she was given. They just weren't strong enough. Hey, these Florida people, they have a very high tolerance for pills. So you gotta at least triple the dose if you want it to have any effect whatsoever. Or maybe they were just the wrong pills. She was like, I wanted painkillers. I'm here for painkillers. I don't know what they gave me, but I still feel the pain. I'm always feeling pain. I live in Florida. Now, as the police spoke with Natalia, it says they could not get her to describe what happened after she left the hospital. She claims to have no memory of it. She claims to not recall driving into the hospital. I don't know how you fail to recall such an event. Maybe she drives into a lot of buildings, so it was just it was a gray area for her. I drive into buildings all the time. I can't remember every one of them. I mean, come on now. I'm on my 18th Toyota here. Now, also in the police report, they stated that Natalia continuously was yelling, "They did not want to take care of me." Now, the hospital intends to seek Natalia's prosecution in the crash. According to the report, she faces charges of criminal mischief, resisting arrest without violence, and trespassing. She's being held, blah, 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 etc. Those are very uninteresting details. What they haven't stated as a result of the crash is that this hospital now has a drive-through, which is very convenient when you're picking up your prescription pills. Just make sure they're strong pills. These are Florida people after all. Yay! An alligator bites off a Florida man's leg at an RV park. There's nothing good happening at Florida RV parks. This Florida man unfortunately lost a portion of his right leg after he was attacked by an alligator at the park. I'm wondering how an alligator can afford to live in an RV park. Let's keep reading. The 72-year-old victim, who is remaining nameless, lost his leg from the knee down. Ooh. This was after he was bitten at the Great Outdoors RV in Titusville. I'm sure it's Titusville, but I like to call it Titusville. The Great Outdoors RV is a hilarious name to me as well, because there's nothing great going on at an RV park in Florida. I mean, they might have hope, but nothing great. The Brevard County Fire Rescue officials say the alligator had pulled the man's leg off during the attack, which was reported to authorities just before 2 p.m. The alligator then retreated into the water after the attack, as they typically do. A short time later, authorities claim the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission came upon an alligator with a human foot sticking out of its mouth. And they probably didn't know whose it was, because who knows how many legs were pulled off on that day in Florida. I'd imagine a lot of limbs are missing every weekend. Just limbs. Alligators just swimming around with feet and hands in their mouths. You have no idea who they belong to. You got to do the test. Is it a DNA test? I don't know, a genes test? A blood test. I don't know what test you do. Do you just take it over to the man who's missing the leg and see if it fits on? Yeah, that seems about the right length. It must be this guy's. The victim was airlifted to the regional medical center for treatment. His condition remains unclear, although I'm sure a Florida man will sew it back on. But it's a Florida man job, so it'll probably be sewed on backwards. Florida man can't get anything right. Another possible outcome would be a Florida man finding the leg, thinking it's chicken, and eating it. That could happen. The officers later recovered the victim's leg and foot from the water. We have a quote from Ron Peoples, who lives in the RV park. He told the media that the alligators always lay on the bank, about 15 feet between the house and the water. He says, these alligators have been found under cars and nearby garages. They're going from lake to lake during mating season especially. They basically live here just like we do. We just have to be respectful of them and cautious. I just love the mentality of Florida men. Yeah, we just live with them. They're here. They hang out with us in our backyards. They come to the outdoor barbecues and birthday parties. Occasionally they just rip off a leg, but that's just it's part of the environment, you know. I mean, we love it here in the RV Alligator Park, though, nonetheless. You know, we feel like you got to just conjoin with nature. You're living, I mean, they were here first. Let's be real, you know what I mean? So why not just allow them to, you know, walk around under the cars, around the houses, go to the child's playgrounds as well, you know, get them on the slides and the swing sets. You know, we don't want to take away their environment. We feel like, you know, we just kind of inculcate them with our lives and see if it works out. You know, don't always work out, but most of the time we keep our limbs around here. Ooh, you just gotta love Floridaman, living with the Gators like it's no big deal. If I lived anywhere where there was a possibility I'm losing a foot, maybe get the F out. Maybe get the F out. Yeah, that's just me. Anyways, I think it's time for the Alligators Everywhere song, don't you? I think it's time for Alligators Everywhere. Here we go. Got an alligator in my backyard and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Got an alligator in my patio and nobody cares. Nobody cares. Had an alligator at my birthday party and nobody cared. Nobody cared. Had an alligator in the front seat of my Volkswagen and nobody cared, 'cause it's Florida. Alligators everywhere and nobody cares. In Florida there's alligators everywhere and nobody cares. Well, thank you for joining me for this episode of Florida Friday. We had a nice time, didn't we? I want to thank everyone who sent me Florida stories the past couple days. Very, very helpful. You can always send me stuff to funnyjones@gmail.com. My Instagram's @funnyjones as well. If you want to send me stuff there, you can slide into my DMs. I welcome it. Someone bought me coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. It's Megan from Winnipeg. Megan from Winnipeg. It's great, man. I love it. I love it. I got some fans up in Canada, and they're wonderful, wonderful fans. Megan wrote, "Oi, Jonesy, your show is hilarious, and you sound like a good, you have a good C word. I'm not going to say this word on the show. I'm trying to keep, I can't say it, but it's a compliment. I sound like a good C word. That's great. I love that. This is probably the best compliment I've had in a long time." And then Megan wrote, "Happy birthday and good luck with your life, man." Good luck with your life, Megan, in Winnipeg. I love it. Buying me coffees. So sweet. So sweet. I appreciate the support, Megan. I really, really do. Thanks for going to the website and buying me coffees for my birthday. I'm feeling the love. I'm also feeling the love from a new patron named Kerry Bradley. Kerry Bradley just joined the Patreon. Got the email yesterday on 4/20. Super excited. Kerry's really showing support for Weird AF News, this one-man production inside a closet. And I appreciate the support, Kerry Bradley. And good luck with your life, Kerry. Please enjoy the extra content in the Patreon. Also have another Patreon. Ashley Winkle joined the Patreon. Ashley without an E. I haven't seen it spelled this way before. Pretty cool. Ashley Winkle just joined the Patreon and is supporting Weird AF News, the one-man production, 5-day-a-week news show. Only one in the world, recorded in a closet by a comedian who's only sometimes funny. So big shout out to Ashley. Please enjoy the extra content in the Patreon. It's like joining a little club of fans of Weird AF News in there. You know, the Patreon's great. Shout out to Ashley and good luck with your life, man. Good luck with your life, Ashley. Hope you have a great weekend. Also, what else? Oh, I got a nice email from Kevin who wrote me about yesterday's show. Kevin Blaze wrote, "Your 420 show was electric, man. You were hitting. What were you smoking? Because you really rolled effortlessly. I know doing something every day can be mundane, Jonesy, if you let it. But you always put out a quality product that entertains every day. Even when you had COVID, it was entertaining, but I was left wishing that you were getting some rest. So in Spinal Tap terms, the 420 show went to 11, bro. If you want to share your address, I will send you a gift of appreciation. I hope you have an awesome day. I am, because it started with a laugh above what I am used to. Peace, Kevin." Wasn't that a great email? Kevin, thank you so much, man. And yeah, I'll send you my address if you'd like to send me a gift of appreciation. And happy 420 to you, my brother. Also got some nice reviews on Amazon. This is really cool because I had bad reviews that I read, I believe, earlier in the week. We have Be Nice NYC. I wonder if this is my friend Brian from New York. Is this you, Brian? He's like Be Nice on Instagram. But this might be a common profile name. Be Nice NYC gave me 5 stars, wrote fun, funny, chill. This is a laid-back, funny diversion from the everyday stress. His Florida Friday is guaranteed to at least make you smile. I like that, Be Nice. That's very accurate. It will at least make you smile. Not always laugh, but at least make you smile. And if you approach it like that, lower expectations, then you won't be let down, I think, and then you won't have to go write me a 1-star review, which says more about your state of mind than mine, to be honest. I also got some 5-star reviews. One is from Frequent Amazon Purchaser, who wrote, my favorite podcast. This seems like an anonymous person, but I'm apparently their favorite podcast, and I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the 5-star review, which says, as a former Floridian, all I can say is he nails it every Friday. Plus, all other days. Wit is a predictor of intelligence, so people who don't get Jonesy, well, I like that. That's a good defense. Wit is a predictor of intelligence. I've never heard that before, although I've been a comedian for many, many years. So what we're doing is commenting on the intelligence of the people who just don't get it. And that's a great way to defend me, and I appreciate that, Frequent Amazon Purchaser, whoever you are. And good luck with your life, man. Then we also have a nice 5-star review from Ariona M., who wrote, good luck with your life, man, as the title of the review. Good luck with your life, man. Love that. She wrote, hands down, Weird AF News is one of my favorite podcasts. I love starting my day listening to Jonesy. To all the haters out there, you don't have to listen or leave a bad review if you're not a fan because you lack a sense of humor. 10 out of 10 would recommend adding some weird news to your life, man. Ah, that's a seriously amazing, loving review, Ariana, and I am so grateful for that. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. This was superb, and I'm grateful. I don't take this stuff with a grain of salt, as they say, which I'm not sure what that means, but they say it. When someone takes the time to write me a nice review, I'm so appreciative of that, to take the time to do that. I mean, that just shows the love, and I really, I don't take that for granted. I mean, it's nice to offset the bad reviews that I get. The people that like the show, I really have some amazing, loyal listeners, fans of the show, and they're just, you guys do your part, and when it comes to defending me, and I'm so grateful for that. That feels really, really good. And your love and your support are what keep me going with this podcast, because it's a lot of work 5 days a week. I don't know anybody who does a 5-day-a-week podcast that isn't a large corporation, a media company of some sort. So for a single person to do this, it's hard work. And I would have quit a long time ago if I didn't have amazing listeners that make me feel good with stuff like this, buying me coffees, supporting me on the Patreon, writing me a review, writing me lovely emails, sliding into my DMs with compliments. All that stuff just means so much to me, and I'm grateful. I'm just so damn grateful. And listen, I hope you all have a nice weekend, or you had one, or you're about to have one. And if you want to support the show, go to weirdafnews.com and join the Patreon or buy me coffee. For those of you living in the Las Vegas area, I'm going to be there doing shows Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. Waiting on a Friday show, that's a possibility, but might not. But definitely got shows Tuesday, Wednesday, and 2 on Thursday, which is my birthday. So those will be my birthday shows. So if you're living there, please reach out to me with a message, and I'll give you the details. Follow me on the Instagram as well. This is a very long outro. I'm so sorry. Forgive me. We'll see you on Monday. All right. Love you. Bye.